Hey traders, welcome to Master the Market, where we help you become a market master. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can set yourself up in many situations to either take a profit on a trade or, worst case scenario, break even, completely taking the risk of taking a loss out of the equation. Now obviously this is not something that you can do in every single trade, but it is something that from time to time you can do in order to reduce your chances of taking a loss. I was able to do that today with GOVX. This was a stock that was alerted in the Market Master group, and even though for the most part this stock was completely moving against me the entire time, I was actually able to exit out of the trade with an $8 profit. Obviously nothing to write home about, but the fact that it was not a loss is the importance of this trade. So first of all, let's take a quick look at the alert in the Market Master group. The reason that this was alerted is because GOVX was a strong mover in the past week. And right at the open today, it started to spike through the $2.60 level, which has been a bit of resistance over the past few trading days. So because of that, it was set up nicely for a spike up into new highs and potentially a bigger squeeze up into the threes. I said that ideally that $2.60 level will now act as support on the pullbacks and offer a low risk dip buy setup. That's because, of course, when we have a key level of resistance, we want to see that resistance turn into support and set up for another move to new highs. Okay, so if we take a look at the 15-minute time frame here, we can see that $2.60 level over the past few trading days, both in intraday trading as well as extended hours trading, has acted as a bit of resistance. So I'm just going to draw this here on our charts. And this morning, if we take a look at the 1-minute time frame, we can see right off the bat it starts to push through that level. It then gets a nice pullback, bounces off of it, and spikes back up to new highs. So right after I posted that alert in the Market Master group, I started to scale into a position. It was still a relatively small position. I got to 2,000 shares and I was adding in the 270s, knowing that I was risking off of this 260 area. And if it started to break down underneath that level, I was going to cut losses on this trade. However, that resistance started to turn briefly into support. It gets a bounce back up and pushes back up into those morning highs of $3.10. So after it had this false breakout and then started to fade back down, how was I able to get out of this trade without taking a loss, even though I stopped out of some of my shares once it started to break down underneath that 260 level later in the day? The simple fact of the matter is that it's important to lock in a portion of your profits as the stock is moving into key levels. So for me, because this $3.10 level was the morning high, that morning high is naturally going to become an area of potential resistance where the stock might reject, it might have a false breakout, or it might have a clean breakout through and start squeezing to new highs. If it does happen to reject that level, or it does have a false breakout like we have in this situation, you want to make sure that you're locking in at least a portion of your profits into that area, so that way once it starts to reverse against you, you already have a portion of your profits locked in, and a lot of the risk is going to be taken off of the table. On the other hand, if it does happen to have a big breakout through, start squeezing up to maybe $4 per share or whatever it may be, you still are holding on to a portion of your shares, so that way you can better capitalize on that move. And of course, you can always add more shares into the trade as it moves higher. That's how I was able to get out of this trade with a small profit. I was locking in a portion of my profits as it pushed up into those morning highs. So then later on, once it started to break down underneath my risk level and I was forced to sell the rest of my shares, because of those profits that I already had locked in, I was still able to get out of this trade at essentially break even, when in theory it really should have been an overall loss. So to summarize, scale out, lock in some profits into key levels on your charts. Remember that you can always add those shares back if the trade starts to set up for a bigger move. But that way, if the stock does reach your risk level, because of those profits that you already have locked in, you're going to be able to walk away from the trade at break even, or in many cases still with an overall profit on the trade. Okay, so quick video today, but I hope you found some value in it. If you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in getting access to our group chat, our day trade and swing trade alerts, our detailed trade plans, our live custom scanner streams, and so on and so forth, all of that can be found here in the Market Master group. There's going to be a link down below in the description for you to get signed up. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.